I wanted to talk to you a bit about your like skate, your way of thinking, if you will, because I've seen you for a while as a skater, and more recently, like you've evolved into this, doing the switch and natural with a lot of stuff, like really mastering your like, and like the difficult switch and naturals, like, you know what I mean, not just like switch soul grind or like switch ollie soul, tricks. The soya ones, like the tough ones, like the switch backslides, like switch ollie fish brains. So
switch true fish.
Switch true.
You guys switch true fish?
It's in my section. Yeah, I do switch.
I thought it was. I remember alley.
The last one I just
spin.
I did both. I did alley fish both ways and true fish both ways. True alley fish I had done before down a handrail, but true fish both ways I had never done.
That's gnarly.
That last part I just did.
Which last part?
The Dusty Denim part that is on Ricardo Lino's YouTube, and Kevin Brinkman edited it.
Okay.
My good friend Kevin.
We got to put the link to that in the
That's
description.
a legit edit too.
Yeah, we got to put.
Thank you.
I mean, if he's
another
true
blessing that came from this whole craziness of the time that we've been in, because I was out of work and it was like, what am I going to do every day? I'm going to skate. Let's go skate, boys. I'd just be like, I'm on unemployment. Let's skate. Yeah. Get the camera out, dude.
That everyone's
Let's
doing.
go.
I think a lot of people were on that, took advantage of that. Yeah.
It's like one of the best things ever. Like, you know, never had that break from work in my adulthood, getting a paycheck, like to just screw off. So I took advantage.
Yeah. That's sick.
But the switch and natural
what brought
stuff.
that about? Like, was there like someone or something, or what made you want to?
So I've always skated both ways fairly well, and it kind of, I think, developed because I was always drawn to that. When I'd see it in videos, VG used to always have a switch section, what they called it.
Oh yeah,
unnatural, and you know, guys like Eric Shrine and John Julio definitely stood out to me, and I loved seeing that. Like, I remember seeing the Eric Shrine soul grind both ways down City College, and the kink trail. It's like a big kink trail, and I think he soul grinded it both ways. I'm pretty sure he did a lot of things both ways.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And
him, and especially Julio of that era, like that time.
Julio too was a master of it, and I think it's a thing. It's a skill that rollerbladers sometimes would overlook, and like for me, I maybe it's like an OCD thing almost, but like I would skate this red curb growing up and just go back and forth, and I'd be like, soul grind, okay, I'm gonna do one this way now, and then Royale, I want to do one this way, and it just kind of snowballed. And I think getting it on camera, this last section was big for me, because I've always been able to do a lot of switch stuff, but I didn't always get it out there and show it, like, look here. And that was kind of the point of that part. I was like, I want to show everyone, like, I'm gonna do this and this both ways, bam bam. So
that's like master level, like when you're doing things, like there's like certain levels and there's levels to everything, but when you're like starting to like master the one aspect of your skating so well, you start going to the unnatural aspect and then mastering that. That's really sick. Like, you know, like you said,
a lot of guys do it, I think, too. Sorry to cut you off.
No, like I and you can go on.
So like Stockwell, I know skates both ways really well.
Yep.
He looks over both shoulders really well too.
Yes.
Which is another switch thing. Can you fakie spin both ways like that?
Yeah, Brandon Smith in the bowl over both shoulders.
Oh yeah, he does it too.
It's
B. Smith,
incredible.
he's like a wizard on that. Who else was I gonna say? Al Broskow too. Full cab alley topsoul, I think, on a handrail both ways.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's one other guy I wanted to say. Oh yeah, Richard Johnson. When I think of switch true fish, I know that he did it in a video. I think he's the first dude that I ever saw do a switch true fish brain.
FOR2.
It was not like his best Richard trick,
but
like,
he
you know how he's like
switch true
swag
fish,
as can be. He switched true fish, and it was like kind of like, I think it was kind of wild, but still, dude, a switch true fish, and it was like tough to top.
Malik Kamara too was also a big switch natural guy from Philly.
Okay.
Jose,
I know that name.
Jose Velez too, if you remember Jose Cuervo.
Oh my God, yes.
He did switch true kind grinds
like
and Hoax 5.
Yeah,
switch true kind grind?
Yeah.
Dude.
Both ways.
I can't do that.
Yeah, like
too much rapping. It's
you did the true fish. That's even harder.
Nah, dude. True kind is harder because it's like you've got to like lock that other foot and you have to wrap it around. It's more of a like. I don't know.
I think it's more of a
guess
throw.
It's preference.
Yeah, it's preference.
I
Yeah, I
don't
think
know. It is a preference.
But
Both are death.
Yeah.
but I agree. I do think that's something that is quite often overlooked in skating. Like the difficulty. Because sometimes there's like the flashy trick, or like the one that could like draw attention, or sometimes like maybe like the more trick that's relevant to the times, like in the style of skating, like little nuanced like things that could be like added to like skating. But yeah, like those classic like doing things both ways, it's just like a refreshing feeling to see that. And like, because it's like something that could easily be, well, not forgotten, but like you said, overlooked or neglected.
It's
and
not a flashy. I agree. It's not a hurricane fish or a 360 true fit. It's like, it's a little more. Yeah,
it's like for the skater like who like notice those kind of things, and like you said about like Richard's True Fish and FOR2 when he did it. He
some
did the
people might not have noticed it.
Switch True Fish, and like you said, if you didn't notice it, you're like, oh, it's a little slop, but like
reason for it.
But if you know, you're like, oh wow, like that was Switch. So I think that's cool, that aspect.
I feel like that's a whole different level of skating, doing switch tricks, and people don't. I think like it's more of like an old school thing to do switch tricks. I don't know why. You mentioned like even the VG like unnatural section, like, but videos don't do that anymore, obviously. But I feel like more newer school skaters don't practice their switch tricks. But it opens up a whole, because they just want to go from like A to Z. You know, they just want to go straight to like you said, the hurricane.
I want to do a hard trick. I want to impress everyone.
Yeah,
with this really,
exactly. But you forget that learning switch tricks helps you out so much in a completely different way that's easily overlooked.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
It's a whole nother thing. Is like you get to relearn. Like the fun of skating is learning tricks, and you get to relearn like, oh, how do I royale? Let me learn it.
So
like,
different.
Yes.
No, it's true, because like there's like different functions that like each of these things serve, and like you could find this even in anything. Like I think it can be really relatable to drumming, like where you have like a few certain chops and like you look sick doing them, and like some people just get stuck in doing those chops.
Of course,
but if you try to learn something new, even if you've been playing for like 10, 15, 20 years, you might look like you've just started. And so like that's the risk that you could take in blading. Like you can like be confident in these things, but like you're like, wow, like this trick, like a switch roll, switch backslide, I'm gonna look like silly out there, I'm gonna look like a dork, and it's gonna make me feel vulnerable or insecure. So maybe you want to stay away from that.
And they do. I think that's what happens.
Well, I can relate to it. That's why I'm like kind of mentioning it right now, because it's like, you know, you like, when there are times when I'm trying to learn something new, like I'll go skating with Miguel and Joe, and they're like Joe Atkinson, they're so good at bowl, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like not even close to them on the bowl, but like and it's like sometimes it'll make me, when I go to the skate park with them and they're on the bowl, I'll be like wanting to go to, like, my natural instinct will want to skate something else in the park that's more suiting to me. But
you can throw down on and be like, look at me, guys. Let me show you how it's done.
It's not even like, well, I think it might be combined with a look at me, but it's also like something that you feel more comfortable having fun on. Like, you know what I mean? Even if no one's at the park, you just feel more inclined to go do that.
You're confident on.
Exactly. But like, it's, I think, to force yourself through that stage.
Which anyone can do. And my friend Steve Steinmetz who helped me film that last section a lot, he got into switch skating during the filming of that. He was like, like, I'm gonna start learning how to skate switch now. Like, he's been skating his whole life, like me. He's 2 years older than me, and he's like, I'm very heavily one-footed skater, and now he's got switch royales and soles and top soles, and he's good now on it. You know, so I want to see him do it on a stair rail and be like, go switch topsoil that, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's sick. It's because it's like you said, it's like it opens up that like whole new door of like playing with it, because
with switch ups too, and like you can do any if you do tricks both ways, you can do any switch up. You know, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even like the little ones, because like I was like recently I've been having problems with like my knee ankle on the right side, so like I've been like not able to use it, but I'm still wanting to skate, so I'm just like using my left foot for things. And yeah, it just really, like, even if you just like get really good at like your switch royale,
just give your body
the amount of switch ups it opens up, like even like a really good switch royale to like top sole, just like that kind of change of motion, and just playing with like thoughts and ideas within like you just learn a new trick completely and then play with the ideas within that, and it just opens up so many doors. So like I think it's you can like, as long as you can skate 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, forever, there's always like something to learn if you want to put yourself in the place of, like, sure, sometimes you're gonna want to go to the park and just rip around and just like
do all your old basics,
do your things basic, but when you're in like the training ground, you can always like find a way to like learn something new and play with it, and that's the thing that's like really cool about it.
Absolutely.
You want to know it's like a different level? My bad, you're gonna say something about?
No. I mean, I've got stuff to say, but I want to hear what you got to say. I mean, I do, but I want to hear what you're saying.
I was gonna say like another level of that too was because a few weeks ago I went to the skate park and I skated only switch the entire day, not one natural trick.
My boy,
So-
It's a connection.
there you go.
But so I was doing that, and the hardest part, which you don't really think about, you don't really practice, is switch lines. Because I went to Faber, you know, we do the curved ledge to the down ledge and stuff,
Yeah.
and I would do like the curved ledge to the other thing, and then go to the down ledge and be like, I can't think fast enough because I don't have like that natural memory.
The vocabulary
the
as well.
vocabulary isn't there. You have to think like, wait, what can I actually do? Not like what I
toolbox,
want to
you
do,
know?
but what can I actually do?
Right.
And that was a whole different like way of thinking too, besides just doing the switch tricks themselves. And that's like,
good.
you know, interesting.
Were you by yourself?
No, I was with other people too.
Okay.
But I did one natural topsoul stall on a quarter pipe by accident. Just out of habit. I'm like, oh damn, that was natural.
Yeah. You wanted to stick to you were committed.
Yeah, so that was the only thing I did
Yeah.
natural, but everything else switched the entire day. But it's like it really makes you think. Like your brain works in a completely different way like that.
Totally. And I think just the more practice, the better you get. Just like anything. Just like anything in life. But though. I wanted to just say the skating switch. If you've never done it and you're wanting to start skating switch, and some people, yeah, like you said, they feel uncomfortable. They don't want to like look goofy.
Right.
And so go skate. Like that's one of the beautiful things about skating by yourself is like you go skate by yourself. Like because some guys like they always want a session or they need, and you go skate by yourself and just work on one thing, like do one thing.
That's
and
it.
get lost in that for an hour. Your switch, whatever, or any trick. I don't know. I think skating by yourself is sometimes it's so important to skate by yourself. I think put you in a different headspace for a while.
Yeah.
Because you do when you're with your buddies, sometimes you skate differently.
Exactly.
You do.
It's not as much like, and I actually had that experience, like, because I just went on that trip to New York and Spain, and I was skating with like the guys Mesmer and they're younger guys.
You want to show up,
and they're like we're there to get clips and stuff. So you're not like in like the learning space. You're like in like the producing space.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And then like after that trip, I was like skating like Austin and I, and which is like I think we've been skating together so long. It's like it's like skating by myself. Like if I wanted, I could achieve the same thing where like I'm not worried about being judged, and I'm like doing. So I was like brushing up on like the switch tricks, like switch rails, switch backside, switch far Nugans and torques and things like that. And just I think it's also like
you do switch torques.
Yeah,
That's a hard one. I
I'm
can't
like,
even do that.
Not on rails. Well, I think I could do it, but whatever. But it's like it's just like I think it's like the brushing up on those things or having that space to like. There's like the polishing. It's like speaking Spanish. Like if you can speak Spanish, you haven't spoken for a while, you need to like brush up on it to have it. It's just like it's not something you have like you have a hammer like it's in the draw. It's like something that you kind of have to like keep fresh and like work on. But it's cool because when you have that space to like brush up and learn and be vulnerable and like look goofy and learn that, you're just adding more tools to like the toolbox. So it's just like having like more options you can bring to that spot or things like that. So it's important to have both. I think be able to produce when you go to the spot, but also go by yourself, have that meditational time, or even if
build on something.
by yourself and just like testing like, oh, what about this? And like you said, just like go like get lost in a trick for like an hour. Like I really like the idea of like trying like a switch royale or backslide and getting like lost into it for a while because you could spin out one way, spin out the other, look over the shoulder one way, and just really test where your body is on the space.
Yeah. That's one of the best things about skating, I think, is just failure. It's good to fail. It's good to go and be humbled by your own technique, your own skills, like to show up and fall on your ass 100 times. Be like, but then get it. It's like, dude, that's the best. That's so rewarding. And you don't need anyone to feel good about that. You doing it there by yourself. I learned how to do this. It's Aragon, I think of him when he said, I don't know where I heard it, but he was supposedly, he would say, Brian Aragon was like 40, I learn a trick and then I do it 40 times. And then I know I'm like, I've got that trick.
That sounds like something he would say.
It's so wild, like a really good technique.
Yeah.
I was like,
I would think like
40
repetition,
times,
like 2 or 3 times, like, oh, I
repetition.
got it.
No, repetition is
No.
Yeah, that repetition is the key though, man. Just over and over, just beat it, huh?
I guess, yeah. I think it is because it takes a long time to master a trick.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes a lifetime.